Hello everybody. Today we're talking about the Suzuki IGNIS. Let's say thank you to Favret Automobile first. They lended us the car for the afternoon. Let's get cracking. The Suzuki IGNIS. It's what Suzuki calls a compact urban SUV. Now what the hell does that mean? It's supposed to be compact, it's small, we're good to go. City, it's supposed to be good and perform well in city scenarios. So we'll go and check that out. We're going to go grocery shopping real quick. We're going to see how it fits in parking lots, and we're in France, small parking lots, so we'll see how that fits. It's supposed to be an SUV, which is sport utility vehicle. Is it sport? What sport means is mild off-roading. So we'll take it on some dirt roads, go through some puddles and see how it performs then. That's the S of SUV. U, utility. It's supposed to be big enough to fit stuff. They don't, mention how much stuff it's supposed to fit, so we'll see how much stuff it can fit. And then SUV, V is vehicle, it's a car, so we should be good on that one already. Let's get cracking and we'll see what it's all about. All right, we're going to test out the S of SUV with some very mild off-roading. And by mild off-roading, I mean little dirt road with big bumps on it. So this Suzuki IGNIS is 4x4. It's written on the back. But what it really is a front-wheel drive car that sometimes will throw power to the rear wheels when and if needed. It has little sensors on the front wheels that will detect if you're slipping, if you're sliding, and if it deems necessary to throw power to the back wheels, it will do so. Ground clearance is a little bit higher than your average city car, so, we're going over those big bumps relatively easily. It's doing pretty well. It's not a G-Wagon, but you're not paying 100 grand for it. Puddles here, see how that handles it. Got some clonking noise in my steering wheel here. You can feel it, not sure where that's coming from. But the car only has 456 kilometers, so it's brand new. I doubt that it's wear and tear, if you see what I mean. I don't think we're going to need the four-wheel drive system here. We're not taking it big time off-roading. We're lending us the car, so, can't do whatever you want. But overall, on this off-road path, I think it handled itself relatively well for a city car. Right, city car, got to park somewhere. We're going to parallel park in here, see what's what. Let's get to it. That was interesting. The backup camera glitched. Right, I don't know if you heard me because you were not in the car. While backing up, got a backup camera, which is all very nice and well. Except it glitched, as in it froze whilst I was backing up towards this Clio that you can maybe see here. I was looking at the car, looking at the backup camera like a noob, and suddenly it froze, and then I was about this far away from the car, because it didn't show me, it wasn't, smooth. Which is a bit inconvenient when you're backing up towards a car. After this fantastically performed parallel park, going grocery shopping. We're going to go and buy some stuff, see how utilitarian this car really is, and how much stuff you can fit in a compact urban SUV. This is good urban testing. Speed bumps, notoriously huge French speed bumps, and well, we went over them. I guess that's a good start. The skinny knobby tires are pretty good at taking all the damage of the road, kind of like that little mild off-roading test we did. Useful in everyday real life driving. Right, talk about driving, how does it feel? Well, as you'd expect, it's very underwhelming. It is a compact kind of city car, so it's not an enthusiast, feel everything in your hands and feet kind of car. It's just supposed to take you from point A to point B. So it's not really communicative. There's no communication actually anywhere, except the steering wheel clunks a bit when you hit big bumps and holes. But besides that, the clutch is attached to the flywheel with rubber, and the shifter is into the transmission with slinkies and jello, although I think there might be a little gravel in there because sometimes you feel some crunching when you change gears. The brake is not very intuitive because it has this regenerative braking thingy, because it's a hybrid with a very, very small battery. It's not like a Prius where it can drive multiple miles on its electric power. It's a very small battery located right under my bum, It's located right under my seat. It's a very small battery charged by the alternator that's on the engine. That also charges the main battery for the accessories for the car. This battery is helping the engine to produce a bit of power when you're changing gears or from a start, stuff like that. It's really more... I was about to hit a car apparently. The battery is more of a helping hand for the engine when the engine cannot produce enough torque to move the car forwards, really. And you can feel it work when you're at a stop and you disengage the clutch, you start going, and you can feel the transition from one power to the other, from the electric motor to the petrol engine. It's a bit of a weird feeling because I'm not really sure how much throttle I'm supposed to use. I feel like the throttle input I put in is not necessarily linked to how much power the electric engine is giving you. So it's a very weird experience. The brake pedal is linked to that recharging system. You put the foot on the brake and it starts to recharge the battery, and you can feel it when it does and doesn't do it, because it gives you this sense of engine braking kind of. And then suddenly it will stop doing it and the car will glide more than it was just before. It's weird. The steering is dead as well. There's no communication whatsoever, except that clunking feeling I was telling you guys about. It's heavy as well, which is weird. I mean, it's not heavy like a truck, but it's heavier than my Seat, and I didn't expect it to be this heavy. It's also not very precise. I feel like I'm sitting very high up. It's a very upright position, kind of like a truck or a van. The seats are not too bad, I feel like. Average in a good way. They have a bit of support on the sides here, even for the butt on my legs. But, you know, it's a city car, doesn't need to be bucket seats. But then again, these are all complaints that I do because I like cars. But for a city car, you don't need it to communicate everything. You don't need it to be precise. I think it does the job. It's an old person's car. It is not a good car for a car guy, but it's a great car for my nan. All right, so we are now in a parking lot. We're gonna maneuver a bit around the parking lot to see about the whole ultra compact urban driving aspect of this car. The problem I have with this whole hybrid thing is the start and stop. I never know if I'm putting enough throttle or if I'm disengaging the clutch too fast or whatnot, because I'm not sure what's powering me. Is it the electric engine or is it a motor? It's very weird. It also has very low gears. You can have your clutch out at about 3 kilometers an hour. All right, we've parked without hitting a car, and I have plenty of space on the left and plenty of space on the right because it's a small compact car, like Suzuki said. Let's get to buy some. I'm gonna go and buy some groceries. We'll be back soon. Right, we didn't have the budget to fill in the trunk with all the stuff we wanted, so instead, I got in it to show you how big it is. Let's have an idea of the U of SUV. You can fit a full 187 centimeter human in the car. And that means something for serial killers. Good stuff. So, it's a car that does car things. Suzuki called it compact SUV, urban, or whatever the order of that name may be. The point is that it did whatever it was supposed to do, and it does it all right. It is urban, it is compact, and it is an SUV. Now, would I buy it? No. Is it a good car? No. Is it a bad car? No. It's just a car that does car things. Definitely for your grandma or your grandpa, or if you're older than me and you don't like cars. My wife puts it beautifully. She said, the best part of this car is when you've arrived at your destination, because then you can get out of it. On that note, you guys have a good day. See you next time. I think this was great. Hasta la vista, bebe.